Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 112. And Oda has done something that I did not think was going to happen, which is Luffy versus Zoro. And this was left field for me because if I would have had to think of Luffy fighting anyone, I would have thought it would have been Usopp, and I thought it would have been comical. And one of the things I've noticed about One Piece so far is in a lot of shonens, your main character has a rival. And Luffy doesn't have a rival, and that just is like, bonk. It just hit me like, wait a second, I'm 112 chapters in, and Luffy doesn't have a rival. He doesn't have someone outside of himself who is pushing him to be king of the pirates. And I was like, this is interesting. And with Zoro, you know that he's more agitated because he's like, you fucking idiot. Like, these people are trying to set us up, and Luffy's saying, they fed us, and you attacked them. How dare you? And it's just like, I was siding with Zoro a little bit. Like, dude, you cannot be this naive. And even Miss Valentine and I believe it's Mr. Five, they're looking at Luffy like, this guy cannot be serious. And while they're basically exaggerated, faces looking at Luffy, and Zoro kind of go at it, I'm going, you have no idea. Like, you guys thought Zoro was the captain of the crew? This overweight Luffy that we've got right now that's still digesting a lot of food, a shit ton of food, that's the real powerhouse. And right away I was just thinking, I was just like, if Luffy and Zoro are fighting, how far is Oda going to take this? Because Zoro at one point tightens up the headband and he's saying, that's it, I'm gonna get down to business, don't get mad at me if I kill you. And I thought it was pretty cool because the thing is, it's like, I've always kind of looked at Zoro and Luffy as like big brother, little brother, and sometimes big brother gotta put little brother in the place. Like, I was just with my older brother today, and while he didn't have to check me, he did kind of come around. I was at my grandfather's funeral. I don't have the best relationship with my father, and my brother's pretty cool with him. And this is like the first time I see my father in almost 20 years. And so I'm already kind of making faces, and I'm not realizing. And my brother's like, hey, you alright? And he didn't have to say much. He just gave me a look like, alright, man, don't do anything stupid. And in that case, I would have been Luffy, Like, I would have flown off the handle and wouldn't have thought about it. And, my brother was, more of the, Zoro type. And just seeing that, if that's what Oda's going for, I can really appreciate it, because it just further adds credence to this idea, at least from what I've got so far, that this crew is really a family. And it's almost like, God, I'm going to show you guys some of my movie taste. It's almost like in the Fast and the Furious series where, your crew's family. And that's the vibe I'm getting from Luffy and his crew. So this was pretty cool. Luffy and Zoro, kind of like Brian and Dom. Sometimes they had to, whoop each other. Well, Brian had to get his ass whooped a few times for Dom to kind of get through to him. And that's kind of what Zoro's doing to Luffy at this point. But neither one of them's getting the upper hand. And at one point, the fighting gets so intense that Miss Vivi, or Miss Wednesday, or Princess Vivi, that's something, secret agent, princess, she's got a fucking identity crisis, man. But at one point she's like, can I even go through here? And that's when Luffy just knocks Zoro back, and swords are swinging as Zoro's coming back. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, she's just got to stay put. And that's probably the worst thing you can do, because on one end you got these two powerhouses going at it, and then you got two people who are trying to kill you. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And the crazy thing is there's this one shot where Luffy takes out Mr. Five. It looks like he just clobbers him with one punch. And it happened off panel, but Luffy is dragging him, and he says it's nothing like a little exercise to speed up the digestion. So I was right, he had some indigestion problems. That was pretty cool. And it did show that that was similar to the Goku thing. So I did like how they pulled from that, because that's always been a running gag in Dragon Ball, that when Goku eats, he's got a work off some calories in order to be at peak fighting position. That's kind of what I'm getting the vibe from Luffy. So once again, you see how Akira Toriyama has inspired. You know, this isn't just something that happened in Dragon Ball Super. I can go through the anime and some of the manga. I've been recording the manga reviews. I just hadn't uploaded them. You know, I'm trying to do something different with the Dragon Ball section before I just start uploading the Dragon Ball videos again. But channel announcement, I've been saying for a while, coming soon. By the time you guys see this video, everything should be in place. So there'll be a channel announcement coming pretty soon after that. But that being said, and I'm fucking excited by the way, but with that being said, there's this one shot where Luffy and Zoro, this is probably my favorite panel in a long ass time for One Piece, and I believe that this is how the chapter ends off. Luffy and Zoro, for all of their fighting, they work together to knock out Miss Valentine and number 9, or Mr. 9, because they say stop interrupting our fight. And it's just like they just one-shot these dudes. Like Luffy's like, fuck what happened to Ray Rice. I got this shit. One Pieces are, no pun intended. And then you got Zoro. One swipe takes him out. Overall, man, this was a very entertaining chapter. I like seeing it. You know, that ending shot. You know, I'm a very firm believer, especially in these weekly series. Your last page has got to be the best. And this was a very beautiful ending. Like, this is something that I could definitely see as you're reading week by week. You're going, yeah, I gotta see what's gonna happen next. So I like that. So my chapter question for you guys is gonna be for those of you who have siblings. And if you don't, let me know if there's somebody like a sibling or if you've been in a situation similar to this. But has there ever been a time where you and your siblings have kind of gotten into it? It's just been a little spat. You know, how did that work out for you? Were you the Luffy or were you the Zoro in this situation? But that's it for this review. As always, if you liked anything I had to say, make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, and share. I'll greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching Kryptonian Saying. Have an awesome day.